Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly commodities update. This is where we do multiple time frame analysis and we'll look at support and recent levels as well as price action to give us a better understanding of the most likely scenario where price might head to later this coming week. So we're doing analysis on natural gas, oil, US dollar, gold, and silver. And let's get started on natural gas first. So natural gas currently we're on the weekly time frame and we are looking potentially for a potential weekly head and shoulders look. So we do have the left shoulder here, and this would be the head. And currently we are coming up near potential resistance as we come closer to the right shoulder. So if we come up to closer to 3.7 and break through this green line, we may potentially come back up to $4, which would form that right shoulder. And we'll have to see how it reacts in $4. Obviously, if it breaks through that, then the head and shoulders is off the table on the weekly. And so currently, let's see if we can even break this 3.7 first. You can see this is also the weekly exponential moving average 12 resistance coinciding with the green line. So this teal looking line is exponential moving average 12. Let's go to the indicator type EMA 12. Very easy. So on the way up, right, it's acting as support. Very clear. Bounce, 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 bounce here. So on the way down is likely going to act as resistance, which we did came close here, but we didn't really touch it. So if we do come up to here, 3.7, which is also this prior support, right? Bounce, 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 bounce. Tried to bounce here, right? It bounced to here, and then we rolled over, and which is we're coming right up to it. So let's zoom in a little bit, right? So that would be around here, this 3.7 to 3.85 mark around this level. And so if we do come back up there, we are getting pretty near to that right shoulder. It doesn't have to be exactly like this top, it doesn't have to be like where we come up exactly right, close to your here, this level or anything like that. You just have to be near it, right? You don't want to call it a head and shoulder when it's like, a tiny little um, right side, and then we roll over. You can just call that a, weekly bear flag versus a, see if it's a weekly bear flag. So far, it's looking like a weekly bear flag, right? Actually, we just got over it. Okay, so as long as it's over 0.32, it's not a bear flag anymore. So we just popped right above it. So not a bear flag anymore. And so that's a good sign for the bulls. And what we need to see is a daily uptrend, right? This is just one big move up. You could call this a little pivot here, right? Move up, higher low, higher high. We call this daily uptrend. But I would like to see a potential break of 3.6, which is a clear level of resistance here, prior resistance level. Many reactions to it here, right? Supports, prior supports, now acting as resistance because price is underneath it. Zoom in a little bit to 15 minutes, give us more clues. So actually, no, not even a single red candle really on the 15 minute. So you can see on the 15 minute here, it's bouncing off the EMA 12 every single. This is what we call a bullish trending day. When it trends off of EMA, especially on the very small time frame, not a single time it closed underneath it. So it even bounced in after hours. So we could just simply say, if you're like a short-term trader, right, as long as the 15-minute EMA 12 does not break, right, the trend continues. And even if it breaks, right, we just zoom out. It could be an hourly consolidation, right? We're just looking for potentially hourly consolidation and head to higher high. So now no real signs of red flags yet. We are a little bit extended, right? RSI is 80 on the 4 hour, so it's short term extended, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of pullback, even if we do end up higher later in the week, back up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of pullback on the 4 hour consolidation and head to higher highs, as well as short term. Shorter term, we can just say, let's go to 6 hours more clear probably. We can just say 6 hour EMA 12. As long as it's holding above 6 hour EMA 12, it's going to act as full bull control. I know it sounds like I'm just, looking at EMA 12s a lot, but we have to look at prior resistance acting as support. For example, I wouldn't just use EMA randomly if it was up here, right? EMA up here is completely useless. You don't see anything as prior resistance, prior supports. It's just chopping around it, right? But when we do see prior price actions showing us EMA 12 on a particular time frame, which is a 6 hour right now, is acting as resistance, right? Reject, 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 reject. We don't close above it. We don't close. Reject, reject, reject. Finally broke above it. You can see the volume coming in as well, which means market participants are actually looking at this as well. Finally broke this downtrending line as well. Volume coming in, boom, pop over it, and now look at this. It's acting as support. So this is pretty much price action showing us prior resistance now acting as support on the EMA 12, so that we can say that we can use that now, right? Versus up here, I don't care what the EMA 12 is doing over here. Only when price action. That's why I say price action is always king. When price action shows up something, you want to listen to it. And currently showing us 6 hour EMA 12 is acting as support. So if we pull back here or go sideways, would be the best case for bulls, or form some kind of bull flag, and the EMA catches up. Boom, we hit it, come up here around this 3.6 to 3.8. Break these two, then $4 would be the target probably for me this week if we can break all these resistance. For bears, right, you want to pull back big enough and break through the 6 hour EMA 12, where you get room to confirm a downtrend back again to you guys like this, right? Lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows is what a downtrend is. Currently, we are in a 6 hour uptrend, right? Higher lows, higher than prior lows, and higher high. So it's pretty clear. No real fake outs lately or anything like that. Trends have been pretty clear, right? Downtrend all the way. Now we just started the first kind of like uptrend. Overall, yeah. So we'll see where it plays out. But you can see the first sign here is we broke the support. There's 3.15 support zone with zero follow through, right? So bulls tried to hold it here a little bit, right here around this 3.15, right? Which is this support. Bounced, couldn't get over it, broke down, zero follow through. Look how little we fell through. Just this little tiny candle, and that was it. And then you can see the bears tried, can't get through it. Boom, broke above the 6 hour EMA 12. Probably stopped a lot of people out too. So a lot of people probably put their stop loss just right underneath here. And then stop everyone out, and just kidding, there's no more sellers left. Next thing you know, we pop above resistance. So let's say this is a no follow through play as well. Doesn't mean you only know it's no follow through over here once we broke above the 6 hour 12 resistance around this level right here. So you can either add here or you wait for the pullback, right? It's become big enough bounce here. Now we know it's for sure that was no follow through. And then you get that pullback to the 6 hour EMA 12, and this is where you add. And then for the next move up, versus trying to add, on this way down, I'll try to get out of here or get stopped out, all that kind of stuff. Just keep things simple. All right. If you guys learned anything, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It's always appreciated. And let's move on to oil. So oil looks like it's tiny range. We're not breaking this low. So most likely scenario for me is something like this, where we tighten up. Big go down, big go up, big go down, big go up. Continue to tighten up. So that's usually the case when we get very big moves, and initially, like big move down and big move up, then we start to tighten up. That's usually the case. So yeah, let's just see which way this breaks. So for bears, you always want to break this pivot and then this pivot. That'll be a bear break of this tiny range. For bulls, you have to break out this pivot and this pivot for a bull break out of this tightening range. If we do break bull out of this tightening range, we're looking back to 65.81, which is this prior cluster of volumes traded there. That was going to act as resistance. And if we do break bear, let's zoom out a little bit here. We're pretty much in the lower range. So if we do break bear, this is the last level I'm looking at, because this is pretty much where it held, right? So if we break that pivot, we're just going to probably test 53. So yeah. Right, those are the two sides. If we break bull out of this tightening range, we're gonna go, yeah, we'll probably test around this 64 and 65 zone. It's a very clear tightening range on currently for oil. So let's see which way it breaks. If you guys are looking to learn more about techno analysis, check out my Patreon page. And if you guys want to support the YouTube channel, head over there and subscribe and help out the channel. All right, let's keep going with the US dollar. So I think we drew this red megaphone together a while back. Bounce, sorry, rejection, 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 bounce, 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 bounce. So far it's kind of holding. I'll be surprised if we come back all the way up here again, because megaphones just get too wide and the pattern just don't really do anything anymore. I would have said that over here or over here, that we're probably not gonna touch here or here, but to our surprises, we tested both sides of the range. So currently, obviously, tariffs, right, is looming, and it's really affecting the dollar. People are selling treasuries, all that kind of stuff, selling the dollar. So it's been pretty darn weak. But we are showing a little bit of sign of, being inverse head and shoulders here. And then I want to say we broke out, but we kind of did a little bit, right? Break out a little bit, kind of back test, came back right into it right away, bounced a little bit into the end of the day, made a lower wick. So it was kind of a mini back test, but really need to break above this 100 mark to really say this is a clear breakout for the dollar. If you do break out from there, we do have a resistance line right here, right? Really clear one right here. So this one is a short-term resistance line. So we had to break this one first. Rejection, 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 rejection. Another couple rejections here. So I'll just call it 5. So when we do come up, so we do break that 100 mark, we really need to break this green line first for any kind of reversal. If we can break this green line, then there is a chance we may head to the longer term green line. I think they moved it a little bit. Let's see. Not really. Daily still shows pretty clear. So it'll be this one, right? Rejection, rejection, rejection. Another rejection right there. So if we can break through here, and then there's a chance to come to this 101, and then we need to break 102, and then we potentially come up to test this area. That'll be probably a couple weeks. So we'll see. So yeah, at least for this week, let's see if we can break here. For bears, yeah, break through this red line, which is the longer term megaform support. I don't think it's gonna happen unless something really dramatic happened in the news. Right, we were already down 10% on the dollar, which is huge, huge move. So I think the most likely scenario is a continuation of balance, call it balance, right? Balance, very balanced trade. In overall bigger picture, long run. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna just crack through this and just go, just kidding, come all the way down here, right? Although, yeah, it'd have to be some kind of very huge catalyst for that to happen. All right, let's look at gold. Okay, so I think I said 2 weeks ago that is likely topping out, at least temporary. yeah, I have to go back and watch the video. But I remember saying I probably said this was extended based on the move, and we actually hit 3,500, and so bull break out of this rising wedge that we drew together. And so let's see what's most likely scenario now. So most likely scenario now, we are in a downtrend. So it's kind of like an ugly looking downtrend, lower high, lower low here. But so this whole cluster, now we have at least a resistance, right? On this way up, I said don't short. Like, like it's nobody knows where it is. You could have shorted here. Talked about this a couple weeks ago. You could have shorted here. You thought you nailed the top, right? We have this big move, and you get stopped out, right? You could have shorted here. You get stopped out. Shorted here. You stop out again, right? So what we want to see is something like this, right? An initial move that shows us barriers are here, and then we want to short the lower high, right? Short something like that. But the lower high never came here, so we never had a real setup around this move to short the lower high. But over here, right, you got the initial big move. Okay, so let's wait to see if something sets up for us. Then we get this beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of tightening range, right? So that's the setup where it comes in. Okay. So this drop, we miss it. We always miss the first move because you don't know where the top is. You need the first move to know where the top is. And then we wait for a setup, right? So we get this beautiful setup here, a tightening range, showing us, zoom in here, right? See how clear this tightening range is? Showing us that now that we have resistance above us versus where is the resistance here, right? You could have been like, oh, there's some resistance here, but no, we're still that's a bull flag, right? This is an absolute bull flag. It's not a resistance. But over here, because of this drop, now we can call these resistance. So it's very nuanced. It's not just because somewhere it rejects here or here or here, we call it resistance. These are just bull flags. Now we can look for a bearish trade, right? You wouldn't really add here because you don't know the pattern yet. And then here, you can potentially play for that double top look. And then here is even more clear. So you can be like, okay, you can potentially add here. Or you're very, very conservative. What do you call it? Conservative trader. You want to see a pattern break before adding it. Then you would be potentially adding over here, right? Initial move, tightening up, bear break of the tightening range, you'll get in here, and you'll likely be out already if you're a shorter term trader. But if you're a longer term holder, right, you got in here or here, you're still likely to be in the trade because your stop loss would just be slightly above where you break down from. And this was a back test, right? Breakdown, can back up. Guess what? Back test the low of this range where we broke down from. It happens very often, right? We break down from an area, then we come back up to back test it. And then if it rejects, you just continue to hold your position, right? If it doesn't, it shoots back up, there's a fake out, you just get stopped out, break even, or slightly even profit if you got in this upper range, if you position a little bit higher there. So currently, gold bulls. So if you're a bull on the gold, if you can see got here on gold bull, you want to see break back above this structure, which means break above this high, this 3,272 high. But so far it back test on Friday and it failed, right? Doesn't mean it's a game over because we haven't broke this low yet, right? We could just form a higher low and higher high on the 4-hour and break above here. That'd be a good sign for the bulls. And for bears, you want to follow through here. You definitely want to follow through here and break through this low for continuation of the 4-hour downtrend and a failed back test of this level, which is what bears exactly want to see. And then if we follow through, let's zoom out, see where we could go. If we follow through, there is a good chance we may come. Well, I need to first break this 3,200, and then we'll come back down to around 3,158. See if we can back test this green line rising wedge. Break through that. We're coming down to closer to 3100. Yeah, 4%. Wouldn't be too surprising based on how volatile here is. But I wouldn't be surprised because I'm like, chip chop, big move down and big move up, and then tops are always very volatile. When tops are formed, it gets very whippy, kind of like this, right? Big drop, all of a sudden, oh, just kidding, and then we got a big move down again. Very volatile versus when we're down here, just a chill, very chill. We just grind it, slowing up. I think it's very chill. When tops are starting to form, it just gets very like whiplash price action. All right, take a look at silver. So we got that. This is definitely like a relative strength bounce, but if you zoom out to the bigger picture, if you are a long-term holder, you definitely still want to be gold, right? It's completely sideways. You probably still, if you didn't have a good entry, right? You'll see you bought it here, or even here or here, right? Or you bought here in 2021, you still be in red. But if you bought anywhere here, obviously you'll be in the green. But versus how much you missed out on gold, it's just completely straight up. So currently still just range bound, right? You zoom out to the weekly chart. Last thing, I'm not surprised what happened. Major support, major support, major support, right? Major resistance, major resistance, major resistance. Completely sideways. So that's the bigger picture, right? Big picture is completely sideways, but we zoom in a little bit. Wait 1 sec. Trading, we move my lines a little bit. Big picture overall, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Big breakdown because of the news, and big breakdown on gold as well. And gold made new all-time highs. Meanwhile, silver didn't. So it's obviously it bounced a bigger percentage, right? But chart-wise, you could just size up on gold. If you play futures, you can definitely just size up more on gold and make the same amount of percentage, probably even more, because gold made new all-time highs, while silver just back tested where we broke down from, right? Bounce, 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 back test, rejection. We didn't even break above here to come test this level, right? So most likely scenario, right now, which I think gold's probably going to pull back a little bit more or go sideways. Best case for bulls. Yeah, best case for bulls, I'll see probably sideways. Then silver's probably going to do the same thing, kind of like this. All right, go sideways here, probably come back down a little bit here, and then go a little bit side. But if gold rolls over, then silver's probably going to come back down to this $29.64 as well. So yeah, so I wouldn't really be in silver now after gold's topping out, right? After such a insane bull move. Silver never got any rotations. So what are we supposed to say when is silver gonna get any rotations? When gold rolls over? Probably not. Right? When gold rolls over, the last thing you get is a silver rotation. See if it ever happens. Have you ever seen silver get a rotation while gold is tanking? Zoom out to the weekly chart here, just for heck experience sake. All right, let's take a look here. Let's see here. Gold rolls over. Nope. Silver rolled over too as well, right? You can see this part is this part. See this part. No, both ripped together. Yeah, they move exactly the same. That's what I thought. It's rolled over, silver rolled over as well. So that being said, yeah, so gold has been popping up like crazy. all-time highs after all-time highs, and silver is going sideways completely. So let's say gold takes a breather on the monthly chart, which it will eventually. It's not letting me zoom in, which it will very eventually, right? This is just a tiny monthly pullback, and it was like 10% or something, right? Pullback. Let's say we just have healthy monthly consolidation. Come back here. That's another like 10% pullback. Silver is definitely not gonna just hold up, chill right here, or go like this, right? So yes, we'll probably revisit 27.9 if we get a monthly pullback on gold, which means if you want to short silver versus shorting gold, in my opinion. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys next week for more stock market update videos. If you guys want to check out the stock market video, check out the yesterday video. I already posted that. The stock market and MX7s. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for more updates, and have a great rest of you guys' weekend.